And so out of nowhere, after 2 weeks of radio silence from Caleb have finally increased the amount of orbs that we can get from Guild Quest in regards to the feedback from us, the community. For those that aren't aware and missed all the drama over the last 2 weeks, Guild Quest saw a pretty big update going from wave-based rewards, RNG rewards, to guaranteed rewards based on how you do perform in Guild Quest. Now, unfortunately, with this update, when it did happen over 2 weeks ago, is that only realistically those in A1 or S League saw an increase in orbs, while everyone else kind of saw a decrease. Obviously, for majority of the player base, this was a step backwards. Unless you were in a competitive guild, you basically saw less rewards for a much harder quest. Well, Caleb announced this morning at Reset today, they're not only increasing the amount of rewards we can get, they're also making it easier to get the potential rewards, which we're going to go over in today's video. I do want to touch upon this. They did also mention that the treasure boxes, which is the weekly rewards, they also saw an increase. And essentially the thing that changed here is that we get more golden or brave soul summon tickets. Nothing really worth talking about. In S League, for example, you now get 3 more golden tickets in a given week, which is yay. This might as well not even change. This changes nothing. But what has changed? Well, let's have a look at the previous score rewards and also the new score rewards. Across the entire system, we saw a few things change. The first one is that they've rounded up and rounded down some numbers just to make it look a lot more simple, because previously there was a lot of just random weird numbers here. For example, you can get 5 orbs if you do reach 58,730,000 points. Well, now that's technically been lowered just a tad bit to 58 million, and you now get 10 orbs. So for the most part, across every single reward here, especially as we do get into the 100 million section, the other rewards just got rounded up, rounded down, just to be a lot simple to look at, because previously, yeah, the numbers were kind of all over the place. This doesn't change much, but it's just something worth mentioning. The second change here is at 84 million points, you now get 5 extra orbs, and at 119 million, you also get 5 more orbs. So there's more orb rewards. It's only 10, but with those new additions, in combination with the fact that the other orb rewards have now been doubled, with the new system, in one particular phase, you are now getting double the amount of orbs. Previously, in one phase, if you were able to beat the very hard guild quest, you would get 20 orbs. In 2 phases, which is in one given week, you would get 40 orbs in total. Now, you're going to be getting 80. So they doubled the orb reward, which I think is a good change. I definitely think this is an upgrade compared to the past, what we had a week ago. All the other rewards, for those that are wondering, are the exact same, by the way. The only thing that got increased here was the orbs. That's the most important part. While, of course, I would have loved to gotten more links or potions and stuff like that, I don't really care about that. The main focus for most people was an orb increase, and we got exactly that. So in any given week, assuming you can beat the very hard guild quest, you're getting 80 orbs. But how does that now affect our monthly income, depending on the league that you are in? Well, if you look at this, for example, this is what it looked like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. Prior to this change, on average, you would get around 300 orbs in any given month. Even with the RNG rewards, they would usually average out to around 300. You had the potential to get significantly more if you got very lucky. I personally never did, but that was the benefit of the old wave system. If you got lucky, even if you were in a C league, you could get potentially 500 orbs in a month. But most time you won. On average, you would get around 300 orbs a month, right? So when we got the new Guild Quest update and they changed all the rewards, realistically, those in S League saw an increase. Those that were at least in A1 kind of got the same amount of rewards. The only difference here is that it's now guaranteed. It's more consistent, but you lost the chance of getting super lucky, I guess. But for those that were in B or C League guilds, even if you could beat the very hard guild quest every single time, you are now getting significantly less orbs, right? Previously going from 300 in a month to now potentially only, if you're lucky, get 160 in a month. And that is what we had a week ago, last night even. Now let's look at the upgraded rewards, and to make it a lot easier, we're separating the orb rewards based on the difficulty that you can clear, and also the guild league that you are in, and even the ratings, and that's why you're seeing 3 numbers on each individual guilds. Because again, where your guild does place is important, as that does offer extra orbs. Now, one thing I will say, when it comes to the normal difficulty, I have no idea what the monthly income was before the change, because I didn't do the normal difficulty. I can't comment if it's gotten worse or better, because again, I just simply don't know. I'm putting red because I assume it got worse, but I can't really give any factual information about that. But what you're going to see here is that if you can beat the normal difficulty, let's say you can't even think about attempting the hard difficulty, which does offer an extra bit of orbs. If you can beat the normal difficulty of Guild Quest and you're in a C League guild, you're going to get 40 orbs. If you are in a B League guild, that can range from 80 to 60 depending on where your guild does rank. I didn't bother calculating the S and A League doing the normal difficulty because realistically, if you're in one of those guilds, you won't be doing the normal difficulty. You would instead be doing the hard difficulty. So now looking at it, if you can beat the hard difficulty and you're in a C League guild, you're getting 160 orbs in a given month, which is still below average compared to what we had when we had the wave rewards. B League though, it gets increased by a tad bit, going from 200 to 180 depending where your guild does rank. And then now we're getting out of the red zone. This for the most part could also be even green. If you can beat the hard difficulty and you are in an A League guild, your orb income now ranges from 360 to 240. Remember last week, to even think about getting 360 orbs in a given month, you had to beat the very hard difficulty and you had to rank A1. So now as long as you're in A League, regardless of where you rank in A1 or A3, you're getting a similar, if not maybe a tad bit better, orb income compared to the old guild quest update. Then of course, if you are in S League and for some reason you can't beat the very hard guild quests, your orb income now ranges from 560 to 480. Now let's look if you can beat the very hard guild quest. If you can, that means you're getting the max amount of orbs possible, and that means in any given month you're now going to be getting 320 orbs. So that's kind of in line with what you were getting before the update, over a month ago. So if you are someone that is in a C League guild and doesn't want to care about the guild quest rankings but can still beat the very hard guild quest, you're still getting essentially what you were getting beforehand, albeit it's going to be a bit more difficult because now you have to beat the very hard guild quests. In B League, it ranged from 360 to 340. Again, in average what you're getting beforehand. In A League, no matter where your guild ranks, you're now all getting above average, 520 to 400 orbs in a month. And for the record, 520 orbs for ranking A1 is very similar to what you were getting last week in S League. So that's definitely a big increase. And then for those that are in S League that can beat the very hard guild quest, of course, they're seeing significantly more orbs, ranging from 720 to 640. So comparing this average to what we were getting before a week ago, a lot more green, a lot more yellow. And yellow's still good for the record. It's still in line with what you're getting beforehand. But I also do want to point out this, for example, because keep in mind, not everyone can beat the very hard difficulty. But at the same time, even if you can't beat very hard, you're still getting more orbs compared to what you would get if you just beat the hard difficulty. Now, because they did add 2 extra orb rewards, as long as you can get into the 5th wave, in the very hard difficulty of guild quest, you're going to get around 130 million points, which will therefore now give you those extra 10 orbs they've added to the score rewards. So even if you can't beat the very hard guild quests, but you can still get to the 5th wave, you're getting 20 extra orbs in a given week. And this is what your orb income would look like depending on where your guild is placing. In this case, it looks a lot better. In C League, again, you're getting around 240. In B League, you're getting around the average of what you're getting beforehand, 280 to 260. But once more, once you're in A League, even if you can't beat very hard, but you can get to the 5th boss, you're still seeing significantly more orbs, ranging from 440 to 320 in A League. This is around the average / above the average. And then in S League, you're getting 640 to 560. So even if you can't beat the very hard guild quests, it's still worth attempting because if you do get to the 5th boss, you're still getting more orbs in a given month, in a given week. In my opinion, this is definitely a massive upgrade, and this is a lot better, of course, compared to what we had beforehand. Before, there was a lot of red, barely any yellow. Previously, a week ago, the only players that were benefiting from this change were those in S League, were those in A League. Now it looks a lot better. If you're in S League, you're getting, of course, significantly more orbs. Now you're getting upwards to 700. That's crazy. A League players can get upwards to 500 in a given month, which is basically what S League was getting over a week ago. That's a really good upgrade. And I think the benefit here is that previously, since S League was the only players that benefited from this, there was a real urgency in a way to get to S League. Now, if you're not in S League, but you're still in A, that's perfectly fine. You're getting more orbs compared to what you were getting over a month ago. So for those that are in A League, you can be kind of happy with the rewards that you are getting. There's no rush or urgency need to leave your guild that you've potentially been in for years to join an S League guild just to get the rewards that you were getting before this, whole update. Being in an A League guild or even a B League guild, assuming you can beat the very hard guild quests, you're getting similar, if not better rewards compared to the old update. The only players that take a hit here, and there definitely are still a large amount of players that are taking a hit, unfortunately, are those that can't get to the final boss on the very hard difficulty and are currently sitting in C League. If you can get to the final boss and you're in a C League guild, you're getting around 240 orbs a month, which again is kind of in line with what you're getting before and just a tad bit less. You're gonna have to work harder for it, unfortunately. But for those that are in B, A, and S, you've essentially all seen a orb increase if you can beat the very hard guild quest. So again, it's not a perfect system. It's definitely significantly better than what it was before over a week ago. So I can't really complain all too much, but I definitely can still complain. There's definitely still more improvements that can be made here. But I will say, of course, over time, as we do get better characters, as your account gets better, and of course with the bonus abilities where you can transfer more stats, the guild quest in and of itself will get easier, and therefore majority of the player base, I would like to think, especially if you've been playing for some time, should at the very least be seeing an orb increase with this new update. So in the comments below, let me know how you guys feel about this update. Again, me personally, I actually really do like it. The more I look at it, the better I feel about this. I understand some players are going to be negatively affected by this. They already have, but it's better now. I know not everyone's going to agree with this take personally, so don't hate me for it. But again, Guild Quest is supposed to be a competitive game mode. It always kind of has been, but it's never really offered those that are in the higher leagues better reward. Now, while it's unfortunate some players are going to take the hit for it, it's many those that don't really care about Guild Quest to begin with. But even if you have some motivation to play Guild Quest and get a decent score, being a decent guild, you're now getting significantly more rewards. Again, you don't have to now be in S League to get a benefit here. A and even B League players are now getting significantly more orbs. And I think that's something this mode has been needed. Again, previously, whether you in S or even C League, on average, you were getting around the same amount of orbs. S League, A League players had a chance to get more orbs from the weaker rewards, but again, that came down to RNG. There was no incentive to really push into Guild Quest, join a guild, be competitive, even just join an active guild for the most part. Because again, on average, everyone was getting around the same amount of orbs. Now, you get significantly more rewarded for it if you are in the higher leagues. And again, that's not just restricted to S League players. Again, it's unfortunate that some of the, C League players that don't care much about Guild Quest are getting somewhat negatively affected by this, and I understand if you don't like this new system, but at least those that put in the effort to join a good guild, organize guilds in Discord, for example, not even just be S League guilds, even A League guilds, which for the most part can still be quite casual too, especially now that you only have to do Guild Quest once every 3 days. You're now all getting significantly more orbs, guaranteed based on your performance. Again, I know I'm an S League player. I'm one of the small percentage that are getting significantly benefited from this, but previously I went from like 300 orbs a month to now potentially get upwards to 700. That's really good. And then even then my old account, a free-to-play account, by the way. Again, people forget that I have a free-to-play account. That's in like a casual A2 league, and my orb income now went from like basically 300 a month to almost 500. That's really cool. I like that. But hey, that's just my opinion, right? I know not everyone has to agree with that, and that's fair. In the comments below, though, let me know how you guys feel about this update. Is this a good change? Is it a bad one? It's definitely better than what it is before, in my opinion, but I'm curious to know what you guys have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.